Hey folks, this is Matt once again. And by the way, if some of these reviews it seems like I'm wearing the same shirt, I'm in the same pose, I'm doing some of these on the same day because it's my day off and I just watched just a bunch of Friday the 13th movies on my day off. Plus, they're not long movies, they're like 80, 90 minutes long, so you get through a bunch of them. But this, I want to talk about this film because it is one of my favorites of the franchise. I wish there was a better cover that I had because the poster is so much better than this one. Part 7, The New Blood. I know this is a deluxe edition, but really there's not much to run home about features-wise. The commentary, I mean, this also has a commentary with Kane Hodder and John Carl Beekler. Um, the uncut footage, it's on the bonus disc of this box set, which I'll get to. There's like a 15-minute behind the scenes, which is on YouTube that you can see. And again, it's only like 15 minutes long, so it's really not much. The deluxe edition is really not much to run home about, to be honest. But Friday the Part 7 New Blood, again, I wish I had the poster. The poster, if I had that on a t-shirt, it's awesome. If you remember the poster. In fact, fuck it, I'm going to show the poster. Oh, Paramount's don't come after me! Just for showing the poster? Fuck you. Then put on the damn DVD. There you go. My favorite poster of the whole franchise. On Friday, May 13th, Jason is back, but this time, someone's waiting. I love the knife. I love the split in half, the pool of blood. I love the light coming out of the girl's eye while Jason's like glowing. If I had that on a t-shirt, like without Friday the 13th, The New Blood, but if I had like from the pool of blood, the knife, the mask, like get rid of the lettering here, here, and there, and just have this, that'd be awesome. Or even with the lettering, that would be an awesome t-shirt. Fuck it. Even like that would be an awesome t-shirt, let alone a poster. That's like one of my favorite posters of all time. I am telling the truth, that is one of my favorite posters of all time. I think that's classic. And why do you go from that to this? Or even the deluxe edition, which is like, fuck, it's lame ass cover. I don't understand. But this is directed by John Carl Beekler. To be honest, it's one of his best films. I'll be honest, John Carl Beekler is not really a strong director if you look at his filmography, because I actually like Ghoulies 3. I will be honest, I like Ghoulies 3. But he also directed Troll, which I know I have friends who like Troll. I don't think Troll is really a good movie. I know it has a guy called Harry Potter before Harry Potter, but I'm not a fan of Troll. I'm sorry. Watchers Reborn is a horrible, horrible sequel with Mark Hamill and Lisa Wilcox. Horrible film. Evil Bond. I don't want to see a movie Evil Bond. The Eden Formula. That's the film I reviewed for viewer request, where they just take footage from fucking Connoisseur. It was a shitty film with Jeff Fahey and Tony Todd. Horrible fucking movie. Just really terrible. That has the fucking T-Rex who blows up and he like bounces like he's fucking Yoshi on Mario Brothers. Horrible, horrible film. Type in the Eden Formula and you'll know. I reviewed the film and it wasn't worth a review. I'm sorry. Bad movie. It's John Carl Beekler. He should be able to do better. Like this film. I know he wants to remake his own film, Troll, because he's here for 2012. I'll see if that happens to him. But, you know, he's made a lot of bad movies, but I like this film, Friday the 13th Part 7. I really do. It is one of my favorites. Because, I mean, the idea alone, basically they want to do Freddy vs. Jason. They couldn't come to an agreement with New Line Cinema, so they did Jason vs. Carrie. And I thought it worked out well. It made it different, it made it interesting, it made it entertaining. I mean, of course, after Part 6, Jason lives. Jason is still tied up at the bottom of the lake. And you have this little girl, Tina, played by, well, the little girl was actually played by, what's her name? Jennifer Banco, who actually would go on to be in another horror film, Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The little girl in that film, like the little girl who's like with Leatherface and Chainsaw Massacre 3, that she played young Tina in this film. And like I guess her dad had hit her mom. She was pissed, saying, "I wish you were dead." The little Daki's on falls to the ground. She's like, "No, no, I'm sorry, no." And so it cuts to the present day. She has gone back to the woods. And of course, you have some teens staying there as well. I guess Tina Care has been in a mental institution. She's felt guilty ever since. She also, her doctor's actually Terry Kaiser. Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. Every time I see him, it's like, it's Bernie. Aren't you dead? Because every time I see him, it's fucking Bernie. So Weekend at Bernie's, man. Terry Kaiser is his doctor, Dr. Cruz. Brought Tina up there to rehabilitate her, but really it's to exploit her telekinesis. She's pretty much like Carrie. She's a telekinetic. And she meets up with people there. I mean, she's gone there with her mom, and there's other kids there. Like you have, I think this guy called himself Kevin Blair, but he's actually Kevin Spurtus. I think this guy was actually in the Wes Craven Hills of Ice Part 2 in the 80s. So, because I know he mentioned in an interview he worked with Kane Hodder before. I think he was on that film. He plays the guy who's going to become Tina's boyfriend, and you have, the bitch of the film. The other characters are really, really forgettable. Like, compared to Part 6 and Part 4, who you had a lot of interesting characters, the other characters are really fucking forgettable. But I do like Tina, Laura Parr Lincoln, who I guess she went on to, she was in House 2, which I didn't remember her in House 2. Knots Landing, so soap opera. Few other TV shows. But what's great about this film is a number of things. Number one, I love the way the film opens with the guy narrating, there's a legend. If I had the quote, which I thought I had, it was a really awesome quote. And I realized, looking it up, that the guy who does the narration in the opening, that's sort of a recap of all the previous films from Part 1, well, disregarding this Part 5, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. The guy who does the narration is actually Walt Gorney, Crazy Ralph himself. I did not know that. I know the guy had a good voice, but I did not know there was actually Walt Gorney, Crazy Ralph himself, who did the narration. I think that's the last thing he ever did was I don't think he was credited, but on IMDb it says Walt Gorney. And he did a really great job because, this is one of those times where I saw this film where I didn't know much about Friday the 13th, so it was nice to see like a recap. Oh, wow, okay, I gotta check these movies out. Oh, that happened too? I gotta check these movies out too. So it was nice to see that recap, and again, the guy has a great voice, so it really sells that, the legend of Jason. Let's see, I think it's right here. There's a legend around here. A killer buried, but not dead. A curse on Crystal Lake. A death curse. Jason Voorhees curse. They say he died as a boy, but he keeps coming back. Few have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him. No one can. But he does a lot better than I could. But really solid way of opening the film. I really love the way it opened because the great voice telling the legend, seeing all the kills, which weirdly enough, that opening is gorier than the rest of the film. Like the kills you see in the opening from the previous films is gorier than anything in the rest of the film, which I'll get to. But the way it opens, and then you have the Jason mask and like cracks and white light pours through, and the mask cracks, and the way the music, like this time was done by Fred Mullen, It says Harry Manfredini, but they just took the music from Harry Manfredini's previous Friday the 13th and used it. Then Fred Mullen used whatever was in between the gaps. But the Fred Mullen music I didn't mind. It had a little bit of a creepy da 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 da. I can't do it right, but you can look it up on YouTube. If I put it in here, it'd probably be Brad for copyright from Pyramid, who doesn't give a shit about the series, but you know they don't copyright it anyway because they want money. But what I like about the film um, is Tina and Kevin Spurs is. I think he does okay as the boyfriend. Um, has a good body count. Only problem is you have no gore, which I'll get to. But the best thing is Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees. I mean, I of course I talk about the poster looks great, the opening, the legend, and Tina's ability for telekinetic that makes a cool match for Jason. But Kane Hodder as Jason is the best Jason is in this movie. Jason, John Carl Beechwood, the way he made Jason look, it was like he was like the Terminator version of Jason. Like he was a badass. His spine was showing out. Kane Hodder played him perfectly to a T. He's huffing and puffing. He looks and then moves. He's pissed off. He'll rip your head off, shut up your ass. Awesome way of playing Jason. He really did a bang-on job. Superb job at playing Jason. I am kissing his ass for that performance because he deserves it. And he played well, and the way he looked when at the end he gets unmasked, that look of Jason, they should have kept that for the rest of the movies, in my opinion. In my opinion. The way he was performed and looked, best Jason's ever looked. So again, I don't understand why they don't use that again. But as the movie goes on, I know you have a little role by William Butler, who would also be in Chainsaw Massacre 3, then Night of the Living Dead remake. I know he's worked with Kane Hodder and John Carl Beechwood before. He's like one of the first guys to get killed. And the thing is, this has a lot of possibly good death scenes. See that buzzer? That's Paramount buzzing because they know I'm going to talk shit about them. Because the biggest problem with this movie is they cut, as John Carl Beechwood says, they raped his movie. They raped his film because they took all the gore out. This film is the most heavily censored of all the Friday the 13th films. And what's sad is we will never see an uncut version, which sucks balls. That's why I didn't care that, the first one is being released uncut. Well, the first film is gory. You had like 5 seconds, whoop-de-doo. Now, if this film was released uncut, and you can see the rough quality footage, which, on one hand, I don't really quite know why they can't do an uncut version. I don't know if the negatives are that damaged. Like, they did for, if they could do it for My Bloody Valentine, the original, I don't understand why they can't do it for this film. I really don't. Even if it was, hell, I'll take the fucking word print version. Why do they have the word print of Hard Target? Because it's the only way to have the truly uncut version. I'll take that. Fuck's sake. Because all the kills had a lot more to it. Like when he punches through a guy and then cracks his neck. There's more to that. When he takes an axe and they call it the coochie face. Boom, right through the guy. But he falls. You don't see anything. That's the thing. This film is very dry and bloodless. But in the uncut version, you see the ass, boom, and he falls back and blood spurt, and you find it's just the axe just cut this whole portion out, just very deep, very cool looking effect. There's the guy who gets his head crushed into basically like a walnut. And the way his head was crushed, man, really good makeup effects. What was the other scene? There was the other scene. There was of course, the sleeping bag bit. One of the more popular deaths with the girls in the sleeping bag. And he bashes against like 10 times. and blood flying like crazy, and then it's just one quick hit now. Just a lot of death scenes, like the mom, Tina's mom gets killed, and you see the little thing he has going right through her back and like out of her chest. The asshole doctor who grabbed the mom to save his own ass. Um, Jason actually had like one of those like tree trimmers, like big ass thing, and you saw him cut into the guy's stomach, Terry Kaiser's stomach, and you see like blood and guts falling out. And this stuff exists. I mean, you kind of find some of it in this rough form, probably with the commentary that Kane Hodder and John Carlito did for under the cut footage. But each death scene was like really graphic and really good makeup effects. It would have rivaled the gore in part 4 of the final chapter, and even the first film. Like, to be honest, if all this stuff, it would have been the goriest, maybe the goriest film up till then of the Friday 13th films. But what the MPAA, American Puto Association of Assholes, they raped his movie. They did. And that's what's sad. This is the most heavily cut and censored film. And it sucks. So, of course, people saw it. And what's weird is I like this film despite it's probably the least bloody of the Friday 13th films. And that's why it pissed me off. Like, imagine with the blood and gore and kills in there. Like, how much of a big jump that would be. I mean, I like it right now because I like the idea of a telekinetic girl versus Jason. You have a fun ending with a lot of bits of action with uh, her frying Jason up, her using her telekinetic powers, throwing sulfurs at Jason, toppling the whole damn house onto Jason. Uh, you know, down the him and her new boyfriend going up the stairs and using the little chandelier light thing, smash into his face, go down this through the stairs, crushing him with his mask, ripping off a great reveal, nails to his head, lighting him on fire, big explosion of the house. Just a lot of fun action in the finale. They really try to have a good action feel, which I appreciate. I mean, problems, the gore, no gore, but that's not John Carl Beakley's fault. It's the MPA's fault. And Paramount are assholes because they should have kept that in a good vault, in good condition, so we could have an uncut version. Which is weird, because again, if we can have it for My Bloody Valentine, why can't we have it for this film? That's what Paramount sucks. He's like sucking. They will continue to suck. But the MPA bitch rape in the movie, the rest of the characters are really not that great, other than Law Lincoln. Um, Kevin Sperta is okay, and Kane Hodder is great. And Terry Kaiser did fine too, but the other teenage cast that get killed, they don't really care one way or another, to be perfectly honest. At least to me. And the kills, I mean, again, you get some really good kills. It's just that, they took the blood out. But Kane Hodder is great as Jason. So I better end it here. This is a fun entry in the series. Final thoughts. Why I like the film. It does have problems. The MPA, it's bloodless, but the MPA raped the movie. If they kept the blood in, I think this film would be even higher on a lot of people's lists in the Friday the 13th series. I really do. There should be an uncut version. Needs to be. Other than Tina, Karen Spertus' character, even Terry Kaiser, and of course Kane Hodder, the rest of the cast are pretty forgettable. That's pretty much it. The bloodless gore and the kind of forgettable. Most of the characters are forgettable. But what makes the film again work, and I enjoy, even just the poster itself, the way it opens with the legend, with the guy who played Crazy Ralph narrating it, and the sort of montage. Kane Hodder, his performance and look as Jason is the best. Beautiful. great performance where just Jason is pissed off. He is filled with rage. He is pissed. I like that. Laura Parlinkin did a good job as Tina. You felt sorry for her, and she was able to fight back. The whole telekinetic thing was a cool touch. Right now, if you're dealing with a zombie, you might as well just have fun with it. Let a girl be telekinetic. You did some fun action at the end. The ending, the thing is, John Carl Beekler, when the father gets brought back and he looks perfectly fine, he just has a little mud on his face. John Carl Beekler wanted that to be like a skeleton, like it would be. But the bitch associate producer kept bitching about him. She didn't want him to. She didn't like the look of Jason with no mask. So he looked like a fraud, which I'm like, bitch, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Fuck off. Didn't let John Carl Beekler, like, if they left him alone and the MPA were not douchebags, it'd be a much, because that's another problem people have is the ending. Because, oh, okay, she brought her father back, but he looks like perfectly fine, just grabs Jason and pulls him back. But it was supposed to be like a zombie version of her dad, like a skeleton-like version. That would have been cool. But they wouldn't leave John Carl Beekler alone. So Paramount, the associate producer bitch, and MPA, go fuck yourself, go fuck yourself, go fuck yourself. But Kane Hodder and the Laura Parlinkin and the action pat finale really makes this film work. And once and for all, I wish there was an uncut version, but unfortunately that's not the case. But that's Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Definitely in my top, definitely one of my favorite of the series. And again, if it was uncut, man, it'd be something. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you next time for. Granted, I didn't watch this film as a time waster, but it's probably my least favorite of the series. And that's Part 8. Jason Tate's Vancouver, or a boat cruise, or both. But take care and see you later. Ciao.